Welcome to today's inquiry, which is there free will and who chooses? And we'll get to that in just a moment. But let's begin with a little quiet time together. So just relax your mind and your body. Just relax. Let go of any concerns you might have about anything. Just relax. And as you relax, be aware of the sounds, sound of my voice, the sound of the fan, any other sounds that appear. Be aware of all the sounds. And be aware of sensations in your body. So be aware of sounds, physical sensations, and be aware of thoughts. And again, here, there's nothing that needs to be done with a sound, a thought, or a sensation. Let them come and let them go. You're relaxed now and open and accepting of all the sounds, all the physical sensations, and of all the thoughts. There's no resistance and there's no attachment. Now move your attention a little bit from the sounds and from the sensations and from the thoughts. Move the attention from them to the one that's aware of them. There is an awareness and knowing when a sound or a sensation or a thought arises. So you are now aware of noticing, of observing sounds, sensations, and thoughts appear and disappear. And with self-awareness, everything slows down and there's no attachment to what's happening. And with the slowing down of thinking, there is clarity. A sound is heard clearly. A sensation in the body is felt clearly. And a thought is seen clearly. Clear seeing. Clarity. From this clarity, see now if there is a space between thoughts, a space between sounds, a space between physical sensations. Look now, see if there is a space. If there is a space, relax in the space. Just relax in the space. No need to push anything away. Become the space between sounds, the space between thoughts, the space between sensations. And as space, thoughts and sensations and sounds appear in space, but without holding on to any of them, disappear in space. So as space experiencing sound, sensation, and thoughts, albeit slowly, expand, open space, expand space to spaciousness. A vastness, immensity. Spaciousness, no beginning, no end, no boundaries, no limitations. Spaciousness. So rest in spaciousness as we begin our inquiry into, is there free will? Who's choosing? If you believe that you're 100% this mind and this body, this organism, then you probably are not interested in this question. And if you are here or listening to this, then there may be some doubt about whether you are this mind and this body, and open to exploration. Is there free will? Well, that's not a question for somebody who believes that they are what they think they are. The question for me really surfaced many years ago at a meditation retreat I was attending and listening to the teacher, who was a friend of mine. And during his talk, a thought came up. I'd like to kill him. Now this is a friend of mine. And all of a sudden I am stunned by this thought. And then, where did this come from? There was no answer, I didn't know. But it was the first time that there was an experience of something that was not logical, because I had no ill feelings towards this teacher. We were friends. I'm sure a psychotherapist could say subconsciously there may have been something, but that's another topic. But it struck me, and again, this was in the middle of a meditation retreat, so there was enough space to be aware of this thought and the subsequent thoughts about where did this come from, and the opportunity to explore that question. Just asking, where did this come from? Now, I'm assuming that all of you have had the experience where a thought arises and it makes no sense. It's not in any logical progression in your mind. It just pops up, and it's a shock. And maybe like me many years ago, you wonder, where did this come from? You didn't choose this thought. So when you ask that question, where did this come from, that opens up the Pandora's box to explore where any of the thoughts come from. Because thoughts are what we're choosing from. The information that comes about through thinking, and to decide which information is going to benefit me, I, which is going to be the right choice, right? So the question again begins with, who is this I that wants to only have right thoughts? Again, you can get into positive thinking and negative thinking, but that's another subject. But about thinking and thoughts and choosing the thoughts. If you've done any meditation, or if you've done yoga, or you've done the other modalities, healing modalities, Qigong, Tai Chi, or even taken psychedelic drugs, then you know that there's an experience where thinking slows down. In the meditation a few minutes ago, I referred to it as clear seeing, clarity. Thinking can slow down by the means I just alluded to. So when there is a slowing down of the thought process, of the mind stream, then something else can be revealed. In this very moment, where are you? What's the experience as far as thinking? Is the mind stream quite busy? Or is it somewhat slow? Are you aware of thoughts? Because that awareness of what is, it's what's called mindfulness, to be aware of what is from moment to moment. And not have to do anything about it, not necessarily to change what's appearing, but just the awareness of it, mindfulness. So when the thinking process slows down, there is something else that can be revealed. So in this moment, where are you in the stream of thinking? Are you aware of thoughts arising? And if so, are you choosing these thoughts that are arising right now? What's the experience? Are there just thoughts and a thought commenting on another thought? So there's an opportunity in each moment to be aware of the mind stream, thinking. And that's the self-inquiry. That's a question of, am I choosing these thoughts? Or am I choosing the sensations that I'm experiencing in my body right now, if there are sensations and awareness? Am I choosing the sounds? There's probably wanting to understand what he's saying, so there's the movement of thinking and trying to put it in a context, maybe an understanding, a context that you're familiar with in your spiritual inquiries and journey. So to understand what is being said, what's being suggested. But that understanding of what is being suggested is based on the past, based on information. How to understand what is being said. Because the primary belief is I'm choosing these thoughts that are taking place. And there's the I that is choosing. But consider the possibility that this I that is choosing is just a thought, just another in the stream of thinking, in the mind stream. The thought of I, needing to understand this thought of I. And by the means mentioned earlier, that slowing down of the thinking process allows room for something else to be realized. That spaciousness, that emptiness, that quiet, that calm. And from that springs the thoughts, the sounds, the sensations, the taste, the smells, all the senses. Is there a wondering where does it all come from? Well, there's no answer to where it comes from, because it's a mystery. It's asking the mind, which has been defined as a series of impressions in consciousness that create the illusion of continuity. A series of impressions in consciousness that create an illusion of continuity, time. So can mind find its source? Can't be done. So again, it's kind of a circular catch-22. Mind wants to understand. It wants to understand so it knows what is happening in the life of I, of me, of ego, and wants to control it. Thank you, Gecko. Yes, I agree. So, the opportunity is to look at all this. Look at it from a rather detached way, if there's enough space, to see the unfoldment of this. And the crux of it is not to understand it, because the tools of understanding are all that we have learned in our lives. You might call it conditioning. So the conditioning is up for grabs. It's all part of that package of who is choosing. Is there free will? Because as I said, if you believe that you are unquestionably this mind-body organism, then the question is moot. It has no meaning. But if you've got some doubt, then the question is there to be explored, as we're doing today. But if the mind is an expression of Source and can't discover where it came from, then what can be done? Absolutely nothing can be done about it. To try and understand it is fruitless, because again, we're using the tools of learning to understand it. But when there is a letting go of the capacity to understand or the desire to understand it, then something else can be revealed. It's wanting to understand but giving up all the ways of understanding. And that can be difficult. We're talking about conditioning. But the first thing is to see the conditioning, to see the desire to understand what is essentially a mystery. And to get into the heart of that mystery, it can be done in a logical way. Logic has no place in realizing your true nature, which is unconditioned. So again, the question of, is there free will? I am choosing. If we really look, we see the I is choosing to benefit, to perpetuate me, and to perpetuate it in a logical, progressive way. And when that doesn't go right, then there is conflict. If I've made a choice, and ultimately the choice and the expectation of that choice does not work out, there's grief, there's conflict. I made the wrong choice. But again, if a choice is made, stick with it and let it unfold as it's going to. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, if there is such a thing. But we believe it to be, and we want to control the future by the choice we make. So who chooses? In this moment, what is the experience? Again, are you choosing the thoughts that are arising? Are you choosing the sounds, the crickets? Are you choosing any reactive thoughts to any of this? Or is it just happening of its own? What's the experience? So there is no answer to the question of, is there free will? The answer is in the question. The one asking the question, who am I? Am I choosing this? Who chooses? The question is asked, and the answer is to wait for it. Not to seek the answer immediately, but just to ask the question and be okay about just letting it be. And there will be an answer without seeking one. Not knowing when the answer will appear, but being open to the possibility of it appearing in a form that you may not recognize. Because that's the mystery of not knowing. And being open to the potential and possibility of everything, just as the potential and possibility of all the thoughts that can arise, without wanting to hold on to one and without holding to repress another, but just being open and accepting of the thoughts, the sound, the sensation, the taste, the smell. That which you are. But that's not only what you are. That is the expression of Source. And we are all of that. Not just a part, but the totality. And that realization is the freedom, is awakening. But that realization can take place when there is a letting go of everything else that is believed to be true and real about who we think we are. And the willingness to question that with, is there free will? Who am I? What is reality, which we explored the other day? All of these things that we believe we understand but are we open to questioning these beliefs? Is there free will? Who knows? Or what knows? The I cannot know. But there is a knowing. And every human being has had a taste of the not knowing. And for many, that taste leads to further exploration. But whether you've had the taste or haven't had the taste, it all comes from the same place. It's all an expression of that, not separate. So where are you now? What's the experience? And is there someone there that you might call an I that's choosing what's appearing in this moment? What's the experience? Because there is only this moment. Where the past and the future meet. And the present is already past. Don't need to figure that one out. Don't need to figure any of it out. Please, any questions or comments?
Do we create free will in our mind in order to give meaning to life?
So the question is, does the mind create the meaning that we're seeking about our lives? Is that what you're asking?
The free will.
The free will, yeah. To the meaning of life. The purpose of life. Well, again, the question begins with who is asking the question? Who am I that needs to know what my future will be? My purpose. And the question arises from what we have been taught, that we all have a purpose in life. And again, I suggest question that. Because if we look, we see that at any time in our lives, we've probably had a different purpose. We've had a different meaning of what life is. As a small child, as an adolescent, as a grown-up. Is the purpose of your life the same as it was when you were small, teenager, an adult now? Or has your purpose changed? Purpose and meaning. So how can we say that that's permanent, that's true, that's real? As long as we feel that we are unique and we are here to do something, then we're searching for purpose and meaning and choosing all the things that we believe will bring us meaning and purpose. But if we truly sincerely question that whole, what is the meaning or purpose of my life, then something else can be discovered. That your purpose and meaning is already fulfilled in this moment. Without the I seeking the purpose and meaning, where is purpose and meaning? If you let go of those concepts and wanting to understand them, then what's left? What's there? Now.
Could it be a mechanism of self-preservation?
Please say again, a little louder.
Could it be a mechanism of self-preservation? So there is no free will, there is no reason that I cannot kill another person, that I cannot even kill myself or do as I want. Isn't it risky?
Yes, there's nihilism. If you have no purpose or meaning in life, who am I? And I will vegetate, or I will do this, I will become a terrorist, I will just... But that is the fear. That's the fear of not knowing who I am. And that's what holds us to, oh, I have to know who I am. I have to know the purpose and meaning of my life, because if I don't, it's chaos. I don't know. So we have this fear that in not knowing, I'm going to be all over the place. But that's not what happens.
It's the total opposite.
Hmm?
It's almost like it's the total opposite. Like,
Yeah.
we think if we let go of all that, then there'd be chaos. But it's only in letting go of all that where you actually see that there's a place with no chaos.
Yeah. It's and we mentioned this the other day. You know, in the spiritual journey, we're seeking oneness. That's the promised land, right? Enlightenment, awakening, oneness. Yet when there is a revelation or of a taste of the oneness, there is the fear of the oneness. Then there is a holding to, oh my God, yes. If I let go, to be that, there has to be a letting go. That fear, wanting oneness and yet pushing away from it, holding on to that which prevents the merging, the union. Yeah. Please.
A friend, I thought this was something else.
Okay. Did you have a question, or are you just waving to somebody?
My friend thought this was something else. I was telling him.
Oh,
it was
okay. I got it. Okay.
I'm wondering if the way that it might be a useful tool to feel we are simultaneously wave and ocean. Is it true that we are simultaneously, we can choose, but we can't? And I suspect that's true, but I don't know what good it does me.
Yeah, okay. You are the wave and you are the ocean. And the wave is an expression of the ocean, never separate from the ocean, always returning to the ocean. But the choice is, I want to be this. And there's kind of an inkling, oh, I wonder where this is and what this is. But to let go of this and realize that it's this and this, that's where it can be fearful.
So we have the illusion of choice at least.
Oh, yeah.
And therefore we should exercise.
We are.
Yeah, we do exercise it.
We do exercise it. We do exercise it. But usually the exercise can result in conflict. It can. Because the choice is based on control. I want the choice to be the right choice. And when you see that there is no right or wrong, that you live your life as it's unfolding. So it's a different way of living. Yes, you're choosing, I'll have this for breakfast, but it's the attachment to the choice. I want vanilla ice cream. I like vanilla ice cream, but I go to the ice cream parlor and they don't have vanilla. Am I going to get huffy and upset? Or, oh, maybe I'll take chocolate. Okay? So it's the attachment to the preference, to the choice. Make the choice and let it be.
But we don't even get to control that we want vanilla.
No.
So
No, that's
like,
just, yeah.
There's still no control there because there's some other source beyond my voluntary reaction of why I like vanilla versus chocolate. I can't control that. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. And is there any need to control it? Look at the need, if there is one, to control it. I mean, you know, we all have some taste preferences in certain foods and certain tastes. It's not like you never taste anything again. It's all the same. No, no. It's the taste is heightened. It's there's a clarity, a clear seeing. It's I mentioned this. It's as if you're looking without seeing, because you're not looking and trying to focus on what is there. You're open to everything that appears in your vision. It's hearing without listening. You're hearing, and the myriad of sounds are there, but you're not needing to pick out one particular sound as it being any better or something that's going to benefit you. It's the whole range of experiences is available. All the possibilities. Without this agent, this control mechanism, that I only want to hear this and want to exclude this when it's all together. Please, anybody else with a question or comment? If there's confusion, experience it.
What's the difference, or what's the qualitative difference between the experience of feeling your heart is telling you to do something and the mind, the brain telling you, persuading which is correct?
There is no difference.
What
The
would you
brain
recommend?
functions as a system. And I was just reading something about neuroscience. And the latest discovery, neuroscience is the mapping of the brain. It's fascinating. And the latest discovery is they've found a place in the brain that is apparently where religious or experiences occur, what we're talking about, and the slowing down of thinking, and then something happens. And they've been using the people in the experiment. They've given them magic mushrooms, psilocybin, and they've discovered that they've had these out-of-body experiences, which you can have through meditation and other sources. But then they pinpointed it in a particular region of the brain. So what does that seem to indicate? That you can't beat the system. So is the system, what we're trying to overcome is something that is endemic, inherent? Is God just a part of thinking, the brain, okay? Or is the brain just another expression of source?
Doesn't it mean just that they can measure it in the brain?
They can measure it.
Not necessarily that it occurs there, but
No.
that it's visible there.
And one other thing to remember, when all these neuroscientists and these quantum physicists are looking for the God principle, looking for the meaning, the understanding, the missing link, they are looking at it through their experience, their background, their knowledge, their construct. The observer changes what is being observed by its very nature. So there's no answer. There's never to find the God principle. You're never going to find a region in the brain that explains everything, because the person interpreting it is a product of that system, not separate. So it's the catch-22 again, the chicken and the egg, and there is. And very few of the scientists are willing to ask that question. A few of them are getting to the point saying, wait, I am part of this. Can I come up and say with 100% certainty this theory? Because I'm part of the theory, not separate. But it's fascinating stuff. It's fascinating stuff. What they're doing. And looking for meaning in it, and there is none.
What would you advise someone who is at a crossroads and attempting to make a decision?
Just to be calm, come from a calm place, not from a frenetic, frantic place. I got to make this decision. My life depends on it. My whole next year or years of my life, and I've been talking to people here who are in that place of transition, and they feel that the decision is so important. Let go of what it's going to bring you and the importance and the conflict if it doesn't work out, all of that story. And just from the information you have, from a calm place. Not bringing in all the past, but saying, okay, let me meditate on it, let me just see. And from that calmness will come the decision, and abide by it. Because essentially it's not coming from the past. It's coming from this calm presence.
It's like we're conditioned to think that we need to think a lot to make a decision.
Yeah.
When I've found that when I remove thinking, intuitively or with your gut or your instincts, the right thing starts to show itself once you remove yourself from trying to analyze it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find myself switching between thinking very hard in order to try and make a decision, or just sitting in the rain, letting it happen.
Yes, there it
But
is.
This can sometimes mean I don't create, or I judge that I don't create the things I wish. It feels sometimes a binary between passive and overactive.
Okay. Okay. You're talking about the binary system. Yes, yes. But you've let go of the, to some degree, trying to think out the decision. Then you're in nature, and all of a sudden there's a calmness, and a decision is made from that. Yeah, that's coming from a calm place.
Well, the decision doesn't seem important anymore.
Yes, yes, of course, the importance is lesson 2. Once you let go of the frenetic, I have to make the decision, it has to do with the meaning and purpose of my life. Once you let go of all that, yeah, it's not that important. And then some smiles here, yes. If you're in that place right now where you have to make, quote, important decision, then just relax. Relax and let go of this strong need and the conflict that's inherent in that. The decision that it will be made, and it will be the appropriate decision. Once you get out of trying to control it. Please, anybody else?
Do you think there's a thing as a not good decision, like a bad decision?
Can you speak a little louder?
Do you think there's a bad decision?
There's a bad
Decision?
No, we're talking not good or bad. The good or bad is based on, I want this to be the good decision, that I'm expecting this to benefit me in some way. And if it doesn't meet your expectation, then it's a bad decision. But at the time of making the decision, based on all the information at hand, it's a decision. And you wouldn't have made it unless you thought it was a good decision. So the bad comes in afterwards when it doesn't meet your expectations.
there was a part in our brain, like psychedelic stuff comes from, and also meditations.
Well, they pinpointed, apparently there's a part of the brain that controls order, that creates order. Because there are millions of neurons firing in the brain in every moment, okay? And this particular region, and this particular job of this, they have a name for it, I forgot, an acronym, and it controls all these neurons, which brings order to chaos. And this is what comes out as logic, where we decide things in a binary, a linear way, logically. So they've discovered, these neuroscientists, and they've used people that they've given magic mushrooms, psilocybin, and they've reported, and they've mapped the brain, they've wired the brain, their brains, and see that when they describe these experiences that seem chaotic, it bypasses this part of the brain that creates order. So that's the discovery recently. And through a psychedelic drug, but they also said meditation or other forms can also bring that about.
Oh, so they're suggesting that the drugs or the meditation is suppressing this area of the brain that tries to keep everything under control.
It's moving into, and again, the picture I get is like spaciousness, where anything can take place, where there is order and chaos, and where the order, which we're all familiar with and seem to crave, there's also disorder. And now they're able to pinpoint it in the brain, saying that it's accessible with these tools, be it psychedelic drugs, meditation, whatever. Okay. Does that help you?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
So to maximize it, you got to meditate while you're on mushrooms.
Solution.
It's nothing that is not something that you do, something that happens naturally.
Yeah.
It like forces you into that state.
Again, even that idea, well, I want to get mushrooms and I want to meditate because I want the extreme experience, right? I want it because then there's the logical sequence, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Good idea for a retreat.
Yeah. Please, anybody else with a question or comment? Well, let's take a few minutes and conclude with some quiet time together. Huh? So just relax. Relax your mind and your body and let go of all that you've been hearing about, is there free will? Who chooses? Let go of trying to understand it. And just be aware of whatever is arising in awareness. Be it thoughts, or sounds, or sensations. And when you let go and release and drop and not hold on to anything that's appearing, what is there? What remains? No need to label it. Just rest there without forcing anything. Relax and rest. Namaste. Thank you.